Everyone wants the Pulp Fiction golden suitcase of mini painting. An easy way to improve their models while spending no more time painting them. Not to what spending years mastering your brush control or buying an expensive airbrush. I've got a simple trick that will get you dancing like John Travolta in no time. And I've also got a way to improve any model in 5 minutes. Keep watching to find out how quick and easy it is to transform your collection into an army your mates can't stop looking at. Click the link below to get our free basing blueprint to transform any model. How can changing 3 paints improve your models? Here I'm painting an Evil Sunz Up. Start painting it up, boy. I use War Flesh because ups, right? While I'm painting it, I picked all the colours in isolation. I picked some greens for the orc skin and red for the vest. The trousers and other items were painted with a tan and beige, while the boots were overbrushed black. I was aiming for a good tabletop standard to use overbrushing and dry brushing to paint quickly. I stippled red onto some metallic details, then dry brushed then silver for the orky look. The metallics were overbrushed, washed and dry brushed. Do you see how it's painted that it doesn't look right? It doesn't look right, it's because I didn't consider the focal points when I chose which paints to use. The focal points should be the brightest points of the model. This tends to be the face and weapons. So I'm going to paint another up boy, but this time I'll change 3 colours. I'm going to swap the 2 greens for Straken Green and O-Ring Camo. This will make the green brighter and more saturated. The key thing here is that the green will now look brighter than the red that will be used for the vest. It already looks better with the brighter greens. While I'm painting the vest, the green skin started to pop more. I painted the trousers and vest using the same paints as before. I used the paints already on my palette for the teeth and eyes to save time. I didn't dry brush the boots to save a bit more time. The third colour I changed is painting the back in a bright silver instead of gunmetal. They were washed with Agrax Earthshade again, followed by a dry brush to brighten the highlights. Now they're side by side, you can see the difference made by choosing 2 focal points and making them the brightest points. This works because the eye wants to be drawn to something, so if you make the focal points brighter, it creates a massive sign screaming, "Look here." This is one of my favourite painting hats because you can improve your models without spending more time painting them. It's not mastering a fancy technique or hard to use an expensive piece of equipment. All it is just changing a couple of colours. Click the link in the description to buy the dry brushes used in this video. Here's how to improve any model in an extra 5 minutes. You don't need any expensive materials or tools because you probably already have them. Or if you don't, anything can be bought from IKEA. When most people base their models, it's an afterthought. They just rush through it to finish their model. They probably chuck on some texture paste, wash it and dry brush it and move on to the next model. But rushing your base is skipping one of the best mini painting cheat codes. As grey bases tend to be city bases, I'm going to add 2 different types of rubble to it. To improve the base, I tore off a small piece of cork and cut 2 straight edges, and then cut the cork into a thin slice. I glue this to the base to represent what remains of a wall. Then I clipped some spare sprue to small blocks and glued these to the base too to represent bricks. Any gaps were filled with texture paste as before, but this already makes the model stand out and it's not painted yet. I wiped the rim to make sure there was no texture paste on it, then I base coat everything before moving on to the next step. The texture was base coated with Dawnstone and the bricks were painted with Wildberries Red because I was already on my palette. To save time, everything was washed with the same colour. I used Agrax Earthshade to shade both parts of the base. Everything was dry brushed with the same grey to highlight both parts of the base and to add a worn look to the bricks. Then with a lighter grey on the areas that received the most light, like the tops of the bricks and parts where the up would have blocked the light. To finish the clean look, paint the rim of the base black or any colour to match your army. Both models were painted the same, but some extra bits were glued to the second model's base. You can see how this makes the model stand out and is worth the extra 5 minutes spent on it. To do this with all bases, think about how you can add an extra texture to your base. You can add some grass tufts to muddy base, some actual twigs to forest base, or some slate and snow for a wintry look. Click the link below to get our free basing blueprint so you can find the perfect base for your army. That's how anyone can transfer the models from this to that in no time at all.